Hi everyone, and welcome to this week's Tech Tip. Today we're going to take a look at the Panel Manager. This is a tool that is a long-standing member of the Strucsoft plugin, formerly known as MWF. So users may often overlook this tool in a project as they may not be fully aware of some of the benefits and how helpful this tool can be, but I'm hoping to highlight that in today's Tech Tip. The Panel Manager is available within the floor and wall module, and it will allow users to view all of their panel data in a single centralized location. You'll find the Panel Manager on the visibility panel. So if you're in the wall module, you'll find it in wall visibility. If you're in the floor module, you'll find it in floor visibility. As we're referring to walls here, I'm going to quickly change to the wall module. You'll see again, our Panel Manager is in the visibility panel there. So what we want to do is first click on the Panel Manager tool, and this will first of all provide us with a warning or at least a heads up to say this operation may take a while. Would you like to continue? Don't worry about this warning. It shows up when there's a minimal amount of panels and also when there's a large amount of panels. So it may take a lot of time depending on how many panels you have in a project. So we'll just click OK for now. Some of the things that you'll notice within this menu, we have some panel data. So this is a great place to find all of your existing panels. And in this case, we're looking at all of our wall panels. We've got a positioning value here shown for any panels that we've run panel positioning on. And you can see a panel positioning value here on the left. Next, we've got the panel name. So this is taken from the panel prefix and the number associated with the panel. Level, we've got the level that the panels are associated with. And then we've got the panel weight showing in the last column. We've got some options available on the top bar here, as you can see. So first we've got import panel data, where we can import data if anything changes in the panel and we want to update the Panel Manager data related to that panel. So I've got the import option there. Next, we've got panel properties. So the useful thing about this option is that I can access this selected panel's properties directly from this menu. As well as doing that, I can select any row showing here or any selected panel, and it will show me where that panel is within the project. I can also access multiple panels properties at the same time. So I could click on a few panels here, click on properties or panel properties, and this will allow me to modify the properties of multiple panels at once if I use the partial change option here. So I could then make a change which would affect all panels selected. As well as that, we can also delete panels from this location. You may be thinking that's a scary concept to delete your panels from a table just like this, but this can be extremely useful when you're working on large projects. And rather than reference the panels graphically on screen, because you may be looking at thousands of panels, it may be easier to reference them within a table. I know we're looking at a small number of panels here, but this method that I'm about to show you can be very useful in a large project. So let's imagine we want to see the panel data, the panel names, to see if there's any duplication, see if there's any incorrect names for the panels. This is a great place to check it. It's a centralized location where we can change or reorder the information in ascending order, descending order, or we can revert it back to its previous case, but you can see here we've got ascending and descending order. What you'll notice at the top of my panel list is that we have 2 panel zeros. I'm not too sure of the exact cause of when we get a panel 0, but this may occur in your project. If it does, you'll notice that these panel zeros don't have an associated panel. So these are broken panels, in other words, or we could call them phantom panels as they don't really exist. So what I want to do is remove these from the project. To physically select these in the project would be impossible because we can't actually find a panel associated with these ones. So the Panel Manager will allow you to find these problem panels and delete them from this table. So I can say delete panel 0, use the usual method, and I can remove these from the project. Okay, so the reference object is not valid, possibly because it was deleted, and it's just telling us that yeah, this panel doesn't exist. So another telltale sign that this panel is broken, because you may come across other panels which may look fine. They may not be called panel 0, but they may also be broken. Just look out for any missing data that should be there. So every panel should have an associated level, for example. Every panel, if you've got the member weights, every panel should have a panel weight displayed as well. So right now we don't have a level and we don't have the panel weights displayed here. If you do have the level but don't have the weights, just check the panel data, just go into the panel properties and see if there's a weight defined for the panel members. But in most cases, if it is showing everywhere else, it may be a sign that this panel is broken. From here, again, we can delete the panel without having to do a search or a long search within a large project to find the broken panel. So another thing you can do from this menu is you can find checked elements. So if I go to panel 2, for example, you'll see it highlights panel 2 in the view. And using this blue arrow here on the right hand side, I can enable an extension or extended menu related to the panel 2 members. So in the list, you'll see we have all of the vertical members, so we have 10 in total. We have a top track, bottom track, and any other members that make up this panel. The checked elements, which are referenced in this Find Checked Elements option, is related to the elements which are currently enabled using these checkboxes. So let's say, for example, I want to find just the vertical members. So I'm going to hide everything else, click on vertical studs, and I can click on Find Checked Elements. And when I zoom in, only those selected members are going to be highlighted. To expand on this tool a little bit, just to the right we have the Hide option. You see here we have Hide Panel Members, and again this is related to these checked elements. So if I wanted to hide the vertical studs, I can click on the Hide Panel Members. Once I close this menu, you'll see that all of the vertical studs within panel 2 are now hidden. To bring those back, we can go back into the panel manager and unhide those elements. I'll just show you how these are currently hidden. So if I type RH on the keyboard, you'll see these members are hidden using an element hide. So you won't be able to bring these back using a view hide. These are an element hide, which means you'll have to select every single instance and unhide them that way. So in the panel manager, I'll go back to panel 2. And again, I want to be able to show the members for panel 2. So when I select panel 2 here, you'll see the panel is shown on the list on the right hand side. And we can say show panel members, and this will allow me to unhide those members if I wanted to bring those back into the view. Again, we can close the dialog box, and that will bring back all of the members in the panel as long as they're checked on. So there's nothing else to mention within the panel manager, but this tool is extremely useful, especially to manage the data across multiple panels in a larger project. I hope you found the tech tip useful. Thanks for listening. Have a great day.